Well, good day, everybody. Glad you can join me today. All right, so now we're going to continue on with my mods. So let's do a recap. So the first mod was the anchor trolley. That turned out pretty good. That's for deep waters and my 3.5 pound anchor. You can move it to the back, anchor in the back, or you can move it to the front, anchor in the front. All right, so I did another mod because this kayak came with no rail systems. So I installed a couple rails here, a couple there, 2 in the front there, 2 right in here, and 1 back there. All right, I had to, for all the accessories, right? Then I also wired it up for my electric motor. I put some accessories, a couple of USB ports, on and off switch, and in the back same thing. And the only one I added different here was an auxiliary port here. Okay. Then my other mod after that was I wanted to install the power pole micro anchor system. But due to the design of the stern, it created a problem, right? So I had to redesign my own bracket, right? In order to install that power pole to the stern of my kayak. And this is what I came up with. Turned out not too bad. And again, if you watch the other video, I used all the same hardware that was existing. Right here is the little rollers. I just attached these on the top. And I put 2 back here and also another Yak Attack lock and load right there. Okay, so that's for my mods to date. All right, so what do I got to do now is remove everything off the kayak, take the kayak, flip it upside down so I can work on the bottom, and what I got to do is reinforce the keel and any surface that I believe is going to make excessive contact with the ground when dragging it up and onto shore and whatnot. And I'll be using Kydex, toaster oven, and some glue. So that's going to be this project, so stay tuned, and let's form some Kydex. All right, so now to take some measurements and come up with a plan on how I'm going to do that. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels, and there's all kinds of them out there, so this is ideas that I'll probably pick off of everybody, and I think it's time to get her done. Hot. Okay, let's get at it, but first we'll talk about what I'm using for material for this job and the tools. All right, so I'm using Kydex 12-inch by 12-inch square. I'll be able to score it in the middle so I can have 2 6 by 12 pieces, and that's what I'll be doing. Okay, now to heat this up, I'll be using a toaster oven. Okay, now this toaster oven is not for the main home. This one here is for my garage. I keep in my my bushcraft shed. and that's for, you know, odd jobs here and there. Okay, I have alcohol here, and that's so that when it's time for me to glue it, I'm going to use 80 grit sandpaper, scuff it all up, then I'll take the alcohol, clean her off before this is time to glue. All right, so the level, I'm just going to check for high spots, but that's just to give me a line for when I score it and snap the Kydex. Okay, again, I'll be using this here for trimming if I have to do some trimming. Masking tape, I'm going to mask the front because this is 12 inches. I'll cut a piece of 12-inch long painter's tape, and I'll kind of find out my best fit. Okay, and then 6 inches, I'll get 2 pieces 6 inches and do the same thing, and then I'll taper off to give me a visual on where I'm going to start forming that. Okay, that's what the painter's tape's for. The heat gun I'll be also probably using, and that's after I heat up the Kydex in here, I'm going to keep my oven probably, I don't know, I'm going to start off at 325 to 350 to soften it up. But once I start forming it, if it does ripple a little bit, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to wait until it all cools down, and then to fix the imperfections, I'll use my heat gun. All right. Now, for adhesive, I'm using Goop, and it's marine grade. Okay. The Kydex, I have 7 more sheets, and that's just so that I can see where else I want to put it, and I got plenty. And plus, you know what, making knife sheaths and stuff like that, it's 0.93 is pretty well the material you need. Okay, so anyways, that's what I'm going to do for now. Is I'll get ready. I'll get some power from the from my deck. I'll run it to the back of my property to this shed here, so I can start warming up my oven. And then while the oven's warming up, I'll cut my plastic into 2 6-inch piece, 6x12s, and then we'll continue from there. All right. So I have my heat gun. I'm going to try and keep it at 325. So right now, the oven's just starting to warm up. It's at 187. So in the meantime, let's cut this in half. Okay, let's see how it snaps. There you go. Now I got 2 6-inch pieces. All right. Now I'll keep an eye on it. Turn up the heat a bit. I got it set for about 340. Now we'll give it a few minutes, and I'll bring you back once it's flexible enough to apply and form to the keel. So I got 12 inches. Okay, so there's 12. I think that's a good spot because right here it starts to dip down again. This is the high spot right here. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go. Okay, now 2 6-inch pieces, roughly about there. There you go. Also, when you're heating up your Kydex, make sure you stay right by your toaster oven because it don't take long to heat up, okay? All right, ran into a snag. And that's just because of the steepness of the kayak here. It's very sharp here and very sharp here, right? And then as you're coming up the belly, it's not as sharp. So the Kydex molded very well all the way up until this point. Once I hit this point, I ended up with this crease here and another crease here that I just can't get rid of. But she's flat from here all the way to the top. And she's flat from here to here. So I got to get rid of these 2 creases. And then in order to do that, I got to change my plan. And what I'm going to do is I drew it here. So I'm going to cut this out with my Dremel all the way around to here. Then I'm going to put printer paper on top, trace it, flip it over on this side, and then draw it out and cut it with the Dremel. But right now, I just went by eye. It's a little off here. This looks good. This is not too bad here. So anyways, that is what I'm up against. All right. So this morning, fresh start. It's minus 10 Celsius. That's roughly 14 Fahrenheit. Okay, so this was the first form that I made. I came up square, okay. Then I ended up getting the 2 kinks. It was just the nose of the keel was just too sharp where the hump was, okay, just too sharp. But that turned out not too bad. So what I did is I covered it in tape. I drew my center line. And right where the kink was, on both sides, is where I tapered it off. And I came up with that design right there. Got a little bit of a bottleneck here. So then I peeled this off of here, peeled it off, flattened her out, and made another paper jig. Okay, then I was able to fold her in half to make it uniform on both sides. Okay, so then I took the paper jig and I transferred it to another piece of Kydex. But in the meantime, my first Kydex had the two pieces, so I made another one. So these two are the same, right here. Okay. Then I took another piece of Kydex and I drew the template on. And I'm using my scroll saw to cut her out. So let's cut out the two patterns, and then we'll get back to heating it up in the oven a bit and curving it to the shape of the bow, and we're going to fit that right on the keel to get our best fit. And then after that, we'll let it cool, and then we'll glue her in place. So there you go. I ended up doing two pieces. They turned out pretty good. Now I'm just going to form it on the nose of the kayak. But before I do that, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just clean all my edges. All right. So when it's time to form it, I'll bring you right back. But in the meantime, okay, this is a 16-inch scroll saw. Okay. It's a Delta. It's a 2-speed. Now this one here, for the blades, doesn't use the one with the pins, okay? It uses the flat tips, not the ones with the pins. All right, let's head her back into my other workshop, the white one, and we'll start heating this up, forming it to the shape of the keel of the kayak. Okay, I'm using my original piece that I made, and I'm going to use that to form the next two of them, this one and one more. So I'll just hold it on until it cools, and we'll take a look at it. there you go. There's one right there. Turned out good. Okay, I'll let that cool. And we'll make one more. Okay, so this one took very well. So let's take a look at it. There you go. That took very well. I'm just going to do a little heating here just to smooth it out, but first I'll taper off and then I'll even it out with the heat gun, and probably just a little bit right here. All right, that turned out nice. It's tight. It formed very well. The ripples came out nicely. So that's going to be the finished product. What I'm going to do is take these three, take out the little ripples, finish it off, and then I'm going to tape around this one, scuff it up with the sandpaper, and then time to glue her up. Now I'll just use a bit of acetone just to clean her up. Get some tape ready. All right, now, again, marine grade. Let's get it ready. All right. Everything's covered. Okay, let's put her on. All right, so let's tape her up and let her dry. All right, now just let it dry. I'm going to leave it there for 24 hours. And I'll work on a few more spots and then I'll bring you back. It's been 24 hours and I'd say it's about 90% set. But let's take off the tape and see what it looks like. Alright, so the job's complete. I also put a bead of caulking all the way around just to seal it up real good. Very nice fit. That's going to make a big difference in your kayak, guys. It'll eliminate a lot of the wear and tear. Alright, now the back is the same thing. I just put a strip on the top instead of doing a wraparound kind of idea. 3/4 inch strip. I believe this part here, roughly about here to the back, is going to get a lot of abuse. And that's why I just put the strip in the middle to make it easier later on to remove it and replace it with new. It's slightly higher than this. Not by much, but it's noticeable when I put the level on it. So that's good. So anyways, that's complete. Looks good. And again, thank you very much for dropping by, guys. And until next time, take care. Bye now.